According to R.N. Cartier, bookkeeping is a science and art of recording correctly in the books of accounts all those business transactions that results in the transfer of money or money's worth. Summarizing the classified transaction in the form of profit and loss account and balance sheet. Whatever you are going to learn theoretical as well as practical aspects of accounting, that itself is called as what? Accountancy. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. My dear students, today I am going to discuss the fourth session of your Unit 1, that is Introduction to Financial Accounting, and this is under the subject Fundamentals of Business Accounting, and this is for first sem BBA students of Mysore University. So in your previous sessions, we have already discussed few of the introduction part as well as theoretical part of accounting. In today's session, we shall continue with the concepts. So let us see what is this bookkeeping. Yes, of course, our accounting starts with bookkeeping. Now let us see what is the meaning of bookkeeping. According to R.N. Cartier, bookkeeping is a science and art of recording correctly in the books of accounts all those business transactions that results in the transfer of money or money's worth. Now, what do I mean by bookkeeping? So, you are going to maintain a book where you are going to record the transactions which is measured in terms of money. And bookkeeping is also called as what? Science as well as art. So, bookkeeping is both science as well as art. Why it is called as a science? Because certain theoretical aspects or theoretical knowledge should be there in order to record the transaction. So, it is called as a science. And it is also called as an art because we are going to record the transaction in a particular book. So, it is an art. So, according to R.N. Cartier, bookkeeping is a science as well as art of recording correctly in the books of accounts. So, what type of transactions we have to record? Only those transactions which is measured in terms of money as well as money's worth. So, whatever the transaction that takes place in a business and any transaction where it involves money or money's worth, transfer of money or money's worth, that transaction has to be recorded in the books of accounts. So, it is both science as well as art because we are going to learn certain theoretical aspect, then we are going to record the transaction. So, bookkeeping is both science as well as art. So, hope you are clear about the definition of bookkeeping. Now, moving on to the meaning of bookkeeping. The maintenance of books of accounts include the following 4 activities. So, let us see how this bookkeeping are maintained in the organization and what are the activities that are involved while maintaining books of accounts. So, the first one is identifying the transactions of financial nature from amongst the various transactions. So, there are number of transactions that takes place in a particular business in a particular day. So, it's not that we have to record all the transaction in the books of account. We are going to record only those transactions which is measured in terms of money. So, your first activity is that among the number of transactions, you are going to identify only those transactions which is measured in terms of money. Second one is measuring the identifying transaction in terms of money. So, here we are classifying the transaction depending upon the financial nature. So, financial nature means what? So, that has to be measured in terms of money. Okay. So, here, so suppose if I tell 10 units of goods, it cannot be recorded in the books of account. So, if I tell 10 units of good of rupees 100 each, then only it can be measured in terms of money. So, units cannot be recorded in the books of account. It has to be measured in terms of money. In the sense, it has to be recorded where the transaction is identified in terms of money. Next one is recording the identified transaction in the books of original entry. So, what is this original entry? You would be knowing about it. So, book of original entry is nothing but a journal. So, once we have to classify or once we have to identify those transactions which is measured in or which is of financial character, and the second one is it has to be measured in terms of money. After that, whatever the identified transaction, it has to be recorded in a books of account, which is called as what? Journal. Where in journal we are going to record the transaction for the first time. So it is called as what? Book of original entry. So after recording the transaction in journal, your fourth activity is what? Classifying them into ledger accounts. So in your journal you are going to record all the types of transaction which is measured in terms of money, but depending upon the nature and type, we are going to classify those transactions into individual accounts, which is called as what? Ledger. So ledger is what? So in your journal you are going to record, or you are going to record all the transaction, whatever may be the type and nature, but it has to be measured in terms of money. So after that, we are going to classify those transactions into individual accounts called as what? Ledger. For example, all the transactions relating to purchase, we are going to classify them into a separate account called as purchasers account. In the same way, the transaction relating to sales, we are going to classify separately into sales account. In the same way, all the cash transaction, we are going to maintain a separate account called as cash account. So in your journal, we will have all type of transaction, but in your ledger, we are classifying those transactions into, depending upon the nature and type, we are going to classify them into individual accounts. So the bookkeeping function is routine and clerical in nature and can be performed by persons having limited knowledge of accounting. At present, this function is increasingly done by the computers. So what is bookkeeping? So bookkeeper need not have much knowledge about accounting. A normal accountant can maintain a books of accounts. So this is about your bookkeeping. So what you have to remember under bookkeeping? So the first activity under bookkeeping is we have to identify the transaction only of financial character. Second activity, it should be measured in terms of money. And your third activity is it has to be recorded in a particular book which is called as journal. Journal is also called as book of original entry, where we are going to record the transaction for the first time. Next, after recording in journal, we are going to classify them into individual accounts called as ledger accounts. So for a bookkeeper, they need not have much knowledge about accounting. So a normal accountant can maintain a books of accounts. So this is about your bookkeeping. Now coming to accounting. So this would be the advanced version of your bookkeeping. So let us see what is this accounting. Accounting starts where bookkeeping ends. So as I've told you, it is an advanced version of bookkeeping. So accounting, where does accounting start? Where the bookkeeping ends. It includes the following activities. So the first one is summarizing. So what do I mean by summarizing? Summarizing the classified transaction in the form of profit and loss account and balance sheet. So we have recorded the transaction. First we have identified the transaction which is measured in terms of money. So these are all done in the bookkeeping stage. So we have identified, we have recorded the transaction in journal, we have classified them into individual accounts. Now the advanced version of bookkeeping is your accounting, where it starts with summarizing. So what I mean by summarizing, there are number of transactions. So in a whole year, there are number of transactions that have taken place. So we can't record all those transactions. So it has to be confined into a summary form. So how we can present into a summary form? In the form of profit and loss account and balance sheet. That is your summarizing. Summarizing the classified transactions in the form of profit and loss account and balance sheet. Next one is analyzing and interpreting the summarized results. In other words, drawing the meaningful information. So what do you mean by analysis and interpretation? So after summarizing, so I have confined whole year transactions into a summary form, where I have presented in the form of trading profit and loss account and balance sheet. Now I have this financial statement in my hand. Now the next step is analysis and interpretation. So what I mean by analysis and interpretation, based on the financial statement, I have to draw a meaningful conclusion whether my business is improving or not. So what is the trend of improvement in my business? So whether the profit can be compared with the previous year with that of next year. So what is my current situation when you compare the accounting results with previous as well as next years. So all these analysis and interpretation, which means that based on the financial statement, I am going to draw a meaningful conclusion. So in order to take a proper decisions, I have to analyze, I have to study the financial statement of that particular year so that proper decisions can be taken in the business organization. So that is analysis and interpreting. So the summarized results, in other words, drawing the meaningful information from the profit and loss account and balance sheet. So in this stage, I have prepared profit and loss account. Now based on that, I am drawing a meaningful conclusion, or necessary information has to be taken out wherein I can take a proper decision in the business. So hope you are clear about this accounting. Okay, so it is an advanced version of bookkeeping, wherein it also involves all the activities like identifying the transaction, recording the transaction, classifying. After that, it is summarizing and analysis and interpretation. Next is after that what you have to do. So I have taken, or in order to, by seeing the profit and loss account and balance sheet, I can take a proper decision. So it doesn't mean that this would be the end step of your accounting process. So if I keep that accounting information within myself, it is waste. So what I have to do? I have to communicate those accounting information to the users. That is communicating the information to the interested parties. So thus an accountant goes beyond that of a bookkeeper. So I have told you already. So this accounting is an advanced version of bookkeeping. So for a bookkeeper, sufficient knowledge is not required. So this technical skills as well as accounting skills will be less when you compared to a person who maintains this accounting process. Okay, so thus an accountant's works goes beyond that of a bookkeeper. However, in actual practice, accounting process includes the bookkeeping function also. So I have told you it is an advanced version of bookkeeping. So your accounting practice includes your bookkeeping also, because on the basis of bookkeeping records, an accountant draws up periodically such financial statement of profit and loss and balance sheet. So if you don't follow bookkeeping, you can't prepare the financial statement. So bookkeeping thereby followed by accounting process. So always remember, so accounting is the advanced version of bookkeeping. In a small concern, the accountant performs the work of a bookkeeper also. So being an accountant, he can do all these activities like identifying, recording as well as classifying transactions, where a bookkeeper does. For a small organization, the number of transactions will be very less. So the work of bookkeeper can be maintained by a accountant itself in the small organization. Now let us see what is this accountancy. Okay, so it refers to a systematic knowledge of accounting concerned with the principles and techniques which are applied in accounting. So in simple, we can tell that the theory or study of theory and practice of accounting is called as accountancy. So in your accountancy, so what is accountancy? Whatever you are going to learn theoretical as well as practical aspects of accounting, that itself is called as what? Accountancy. So it tells us how to prepare the books of accounts, how to summarize the accounting information, and how to communicate it to the interested parties. So your accountancy is a subject where you are going to learn all the theoretical as well as practical aspects of accounting. So here it tells us what to record, when to record, how to record, and who has to record the transaction, where to record, how the financial statement has to be prepared, what type of transactions we have to record in the books of account. All these theoretical as well as practical aspects also you are going to learn in this accountancy. So according to Kohler, accountancy refers to the entire body of theory and practice of accounting. So hope you are clear about it. So what is the difference between bookkeeping? So bookkeeping is the first stage of your recording in the books of accounts. After that, followed by accounting. So then what is this accountancy? Learning the theory and practice of accounting itself is accountancy. So hope you are clear about this concept. Now we are going to learn about your introduction to financial accounting. So let us learn in detail about accounting now. So we shall leave that bookkeeping and accountancy because you have got to know what is the meaning of bookkeeping and accountancy. Now we shall concentrate on accounting. So accounting can therefore be defined as a process of identifying. Yes, we have to identify only those transactions which is of financial character. Then measuring, it has to be measured in terms of money. Then we will record the transaction in a particular book which is called as journal. After recording, we will classify. So classify, summarize and interpret. Then we have to communicate the required information to the relating to the economic events of an organization to the interested users. So who are the interested users? We shall discuss in detail. So there are number of users who might be inside the organization or outside the organization who will be waiting for the accounting information. So they are called as what? Interested users. So why we have to communicate accounting information to the interested users? Because they are the one who will take necessary decision based on the accounting results. There are number of users who are dependent on accounting information who will take necessary decisions whenever required. And of course, it helps the organization as well as the users also. So in order to appreciate the exact nature of accounting, we must understand the following relevant aspects of the definition. Now, what do I mean by economic events? So economic events means what? Any activity wherein we have to get some return, that is called as what? Economic events. So any events or activities that takes place in a business organization wherein we have to get some return from that activity is called as what? Economic event. Now business is particularly known as what? Economic event, because whatever the activity we are conducted in the business, but our main notion is to what? To earn profit. So profit is a return for the activities or the events that takes place in a business. So whatever the organization struggles throughout the year, so the main intention is to earn profit. So business is called as what? Economic event. Next, we have to identify, that I have told you, we are going to identify those transactions which is measured in terms of, or we are going to identify the transaction which is of financial character. So first we have to identify whether it is of financial character or not. Next is measurement. It has to be measured in terms of money, record, communicate. So this I have already told you while explaining the meaning itself. Next, organization means what? Organization means it is a business organization. So business firm we are talking about. Next, interested users of information. So we will discuss in detail who are the interested users. So I have told you there are a number of users who are dependent on accounting information who want to know what is the accounting results. Based on the accounting result, they will take the decision. So they are called as what? Interested users. Now let us see what are the interested users of accounting information. So accounting is a means by which necessary financial information about the business enterprise which has been calculated, it has to be communicated to the users. So business enterprise is communicated and it is also called as language of business. So why it is called as a language of business? Because the accounting results what we have ascertained, it has to be communicated. So it is a language of business. Many users needs financial information in order to make important decisions. So this I have told you already. So there are a number of users who dependent on accounting information and they based on the accounting information they'll take the proper decisions. So these users can be divided into two broad categories, internal users and external users. Now let us see individually what are these internal users and external users. The word itself tells the meaning of accounting, that is your users, that is it may be internal user or external user. Now let us see what are the interested users of information wherein we are going to discuss about internal users. Now these are the users of accounting information who are inside the organization. So if you see the example itself, you will get to know there are a number of users I have told you who dependent or who is eager to know the accounting information. So internal user means what? Who are inside the organization. For example, if your chief executive, financial officer, vice president, business unit managers, plant managers, store managers, line supervisors, etc. So these are the users who are inside the organization. Now why they want to know about the accounting results? For number of reasons. So being an employee, so I being an employee of a particular organization, even I want to know the accounting results, thinking that whether there might be an increment. If there is more profit in the organization, do I get an increment? So do I get a bonus? Such type of decisions will be based on the accounting results. So here there are a number of internal users as well as external users who are eagerly waiting to know about the accounting information. Now coming to your external users include present as well as potential investors. We call them as shareholders. So they are the real owners of the business. Of course, based on the accounting information, our investment also increases. So if the organization is in high profit, of course there are a number of investors who come forward for the investment. So they are called as what? Investors as well as, or else shareholders. Then even the creditors, that is bank and other financial institutions. So being a financial institution, if they have provided loan to the financial organization, that is the business organization, even the financial institution is eager to know about the accounting results, because thinking that whether the business is in a situation to repay my loan or not. Correct? So there are a number of banks and other financial institutions, even the creditors, so they also want to know about it. Next is your debenture holders and other lenders also. Next, tax authorities, regulatory agencies, Security Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI, then labor unions, trade associations, trade exchange and customers, etc. So these are the users who are outside the organization, external users. So they also want to know about the accounting information, because both internal as well as external users, based on the accounting information, they have to take the necessary decisions. So whether I have to retain in this organization or not, whether my salary will be incremented. So such type of decisions will be taken based on the accounting results. So hope you are clear about the interested users of accounting information. Now we shall move on to the next concept, that is branches of accounting. So there are various branches of accounting. So accounting is not only confined for the financial accounting, where we will identify, record, classify, then summarize, interpret, analyze and communicate the accounting information. There are other branches of accounting also. So we shall see what are the branches of accounting. So the first one is financial accounting. So whatever we are talking about in this particular subject, that is related to financial accounting. Now what is this financial accounting? Hope you would have already got an idea. So what is this financial accounting? So wherein we will identify, we will record and we will summarize. So the main intention is to know the financial result of the business ultimately. So whether the business is in a profit or loss. So what is the financial position of the business? So that would be the main intention of financial accounting. So let us see. The main purpose of this branch of accounting is to record the business transaction. So what we are going to do with? We will record the business transaction in a systematic manner. So what do I mean by systematic manner? So we can't record the transactions randomly. There are certain procedures, there are certain principles, policies, guidelines to be followed. So based on that, I'll record all those transactions in the books of account in a systematic manner to ascertain the profit or loss of the business in an accounting period. Of course, the main intention of the business is to earn profit. Then what is the intention of maintaining books of accounts properly? To know the financial results. That is, whether my business is in profit or loss. So in a particular accounting period, we're preparing the profit and loss account and the financial position of the business by preparing the balance sheet. So overall we can tell that, so what is financial accounting? The main intention of financial accounting is to know the financial position of the business. That is your profit and loss, as well as by preparing the balance sheet, you know the total of assets and total of liabilities in a business in a particular accounting period. That would be the intention of financial accounting. So this branch of accounting provides information required by the management and various other interested parties. So this I have already told you, it's not just that you will prepare the financial statement and keep it by yourself. It has to be communicated to the necessary users. It may be internal or external, because based on that, communication only. So there are number of advantages to the organization. So it has to be communicated to the users. So hope you are clear with the financial accounting. So this is about your first branches of accounting. Next, second is cost accounting. So as a word itself tells us what is this cost accounting. So we'll be learning as a subject in your degree, that is cost accounting. So what is this cost accounting? What is the cost involved to manufacture a particular product? So what is the labor used? What is the material used? So all these you will learn under cost accounting. Whereas in financial accounting, overall you are going to know the profit and loss of the business, but under cost accounting you are going to learn in detail or in particular what is the cost involved to manufacture a particular product. So the main purpose of cost accounting is to ascertain the total cost and per unit cost of goods produced and the service rendered by the business. So you are going to ascertain what is the cost, total cost involved to manufacture a particular product and what is the cost per unit. So when you are manufacturing in bulk, what is the cost per unit? So that you will learn under this cost accounting. It also estimates the cost in advance and helps the management in exercising strict control over the cost. So this cost accounting you are going to learn, as I've already told you, what is the cost involved to manufacture a particular product. Thereby you can take a necessary decision. So what are the changes I have to make in the manufacturing process where I can reduce the cost of a particular product, wherein I can get the maximum profit. So this is about your cost accounting. Next is management accounting. So of course, the working of a particular or a successful organization depends upon a best management. So how the management will be undertaken in a particular organization. So that you will learn under management accounting. The main purpose of management accounting is to present the accounting information in such a way as to assist the management in planning and controlling the operation of the business. So here, how the planning or various other activities that takes place in a business wherein you will have a strong management or a proper management where the intention of the business is to earn profit. But in order to get profit, there are other activities behind that takes place in a business wherein these activities has to be run or these activities has to be taken place properly. Then only they can earn maximum profit in the organization. So how the management actually is. So what is the planning process? How the organizing is done. So planning, organizing, staffing, directing. So these are all you have to do it properly in order to have an effective as well as efficient management in the organization. The management accountant uses various techniques and concepts to make the accounting data more useful to the managerial decision making. So a proper decision, being a management, they have to take a proper decision and that decision depends upon the accounting results. So whatever the accounting results which has to be communicated inside the organization, based on that a proper management decision has to be taken so that the business can earn maximum profit. These techniques include ratio analysis, budgetary control, fund flow statement, cash flow statement, etc. So this comes under management accounting. Next is tax accounting. So the branch of accounting which used for tax purposes is called as tax accounting. So what is a tax levied in a particular organization? So what is the tax that has to be paid? So all these you will learn under tax accounting. So income tax and sales tax are computed on the basis of this accounting. So based on the accounting results, so we are going to levy this income tax as well as sales tax and other tax. So what are the other tax that has to be paid to the tax authorities? So that we will learn under tax accounting. Next, social responsibility accounting. So this is also main aspect of accounting. So it's not just that being a business, the main intention of course it is to earn profit, but it doesn't mean that they have to always concentrate on profit only, so leaving other things aside. So they have to be socially responsible for the society also, because whatever the resources, whatever the materials they are going to take, it is from the environment, so they have to give something back to the society. So it may be human resource or it may be any other natural resource which is used for manufacturing purpose. So when they are taking from the society, so being a business organization, they should not be that selfish where they have to think only about the profit. They have to give something return to the society. So that will learn under social responsibility accounting. So this is the main aspect of your business organization, where being a business, it has to be equally socially responsible to the society also. The society provides the infrastructure and other facility without which the business cannot operate at all. So I have told you all the resources that has been taken from the society, correct? So without that, a business cannot run at all. Business cannot earn the profit at all. So they have taken all the resources from the society. Hence the business also has a responsibility to the society also. So they have to give something back to the society. There is a growing demand for the reports on activities which reflects the contribution of an enterprise to the society. I have told you this would be the main aspect of a business organization, because it overall affects the society also. So when a business organization is fully socially responsible to the society, of course the goodwill of the organization automatically increases. At the same time, the investors also increases, thereby the profitability also increases. So there are a lot of effects on being a business. It has to be socially responsible. Social responsibility accounting is a process of identifying, measuring and communicating the contribution of business to the society. So being whatever the resources they have taken, or whatever the human resource they have made utilized out of that, so they have to give something back to the human resource or to the society for their development also. The contribution of a business to the society consists of providing employment to the underprivileged, providing financial as well as manpower support for public programs, environmental contribution, product safety, product durability, customer satisfaction, etc. So other things what they can do, they can provide a quality product at a reasonable price, provide education for the employees of the business organization, or they can give a free education, they can construct the schools, so colleges, so or the hospitals. So all these are socially responsible, wherein a business is socially responsible towards the society. In social responsibility accounting, techniques have been developed for measuring the cost of these contributions and the benefit to the society. So overall what we can tell is, under social responsibility accounting, it's not just taking all the infrastructure or resources from the society. Being a business organization, it has to be equally socially responsible towards the society by providing or whatever the necessary. So suppose if a business organization earns much profit, they can contribute a part of their profit towards the society for their development also. So these are the branches of accounting where we have discussed about financial accounting, cost accounting, management accounting, tax accounting and social responsibility accounting. So in your further classes, you are going to learn these individual branches of accounting as a particular subject itself, where you are going to learn in detail. Time being, just know the meaning of this particular branches of accounting. So my dear students, hope you have understood this particular session. See you all in my next session with a new concept. Till then, take care. Thank you.